Lightfall in a year ahead. Welcome to February, Guardians. Alright, YouTube. This is from Mr. Joe. He is basically a really good guy at Bungie, in my opinion. You know, he tries to look out for the game. We're going to see what he has to say. While you're here, I just want to let y'all know, if you want to support the channel, I have merch. And if you ever want to check out the merch store, you can go to Ekuegan.net to check that out. But right now, we have a goal. And you see this little guy right here? In order for this little guy to be created, we have to sell 300 of them, all right? And they're going to be 30 bucks. And for the month of February, you can use code February to get 15% off at checkout. But this little buddy here, if we hit the 300 goal, will be made and will be sent out to everyone that has ordered it. The minimum order is 300. You can see here it has my logo in the back. You can actually take these things off right here, even the heart. He also has a tank top, so you can actually like take this off and have my man in a tank top. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it gets hot outside during the summertime. You know what I mean? But if you're out there, even if you're on the Twitch side of things, right? If you ever seen the wiggle emote, you can wiggle in real life. Ekuegan.net if you're trying to get one of these. All right, now let's get back to this. You may know me as EXO and your Grandmaster using whichever exotic bow matches the Nightfall Singe, or the Awoken on your friend list with their fire team sets of clothes as they put another hour of attempts to solo in the latest dungeon. Or maybe even the human with 3 different red border weapons equipped trying to complete 10 separate bounties in a single match. But when I'm not logged into Destiny or socials, trying to convince people oh man, his Guardian fashion is so ass. It's so dookie. Yay. Yep, that's Joe. Yep, that's Joe. Yep. It's like he's always trying to match his weapon. Look, you see his weapon and you see him? Yeah, couldn't be me, Joe, okay? When you watch this video, this is my reaction, Joe. All right, Joe? Yeah, gotta go. He's also the game director for Destiny 2. In a couple of weeks, Lightfall will be in your hands. It's the penultimate expansion of the Light and Darkness saga and is a radical acceleration towards the final shape. But as excited as we are about Lightfall, it's not the only thing coming to Destiny 2 this year. Destiny is a massive, living, breathing organism, and what it requires to thrive is an incredible development team with a constantly updated list of priorities that can regularly inject high-value changes. So today we're going to pull back the curtains and talk about how we see the game right now and what changes we need to make to allow Destiny 2 to continue to evolve and thrive in the way that we all want. Hell yeah. First, the good. Okay. We have gotten to a place where Guardians can expect consistency and the quality of content coming to Destiny 2 all year long. From the Witch Queen season to Season of the Seraph, we are incredibly proud of all the high-quality shooter content and storytelling that has been added to the game over the last 12 months. It hasn't been bad. I wasn't a huge fan of Season of the Haunted, but every other season hasn't been bad. Especially when you know how seasons work. You know, like it's with any game. It starts out, you got all this new stuff, you're happy for a month or two, and then after a while, it kind of dries up. You know, like Fortnite, Overwatch, whatever season it is for whatever game, that's how it is. That's fine. But amid this quality and consistency, Destiny 2 can sometimes feel too predictable. While some consistency is necessary for us to be able to regularly update the game and prevent players from having to relearn Destiny every 3 months, as well as to maintain our team health and sustainability. It is clear that too much predictability has created a lack of surprise and delight by the time some of our major game updates get into your hands. Aside from predictability, we sometimes still hear a refrain that has been sung since the beginning of our journey. There's just not enough to do. While there's plenty happening at the start of an expansion or seasonal drop, by the end of the season, we often see most of our engaged players lamenting that they have run out of things to sing. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. You know, that's every game. I don't know. This is not a problem that one more strike on an additional map can solve. Destiny 2 has an incredible amount of content, but sometimes not all of our content is as rewarding or engaging as we like. Yeah? And sometimes you just can't find anyone to play with. Maybe. So with the issues laid out in front of us, we created our 4 big goals for Destiny 2 leading up to final shape. Expand player imaginations. Okay. I would rather have the devs have their imaginations kind of expanded, but okay. Bring challenge back to Destiny. In what way though? Because the game is challenging to some people right now. It may not be everybody, but this game still challenges some people. That's my only fear. How do you make the game challenging for everybody? Power creep is a thing, and things that were hard are not that hard anymore because everyone knows what to do. So that's going to be hard. I hope they find a way to do that. Enrich our content, connect our guardians. Now, none of these goals will be achieved with one change, and they're all going to require consistent maintenance to remain true. But for the rest of our time together, I would like to walk you through how we plan to address these 4 big goals in 2023. Expend players' imagination. I kind of want to read about this. In Destiny 2, we want each major update to get the gears inside our players' head turning on what's new and what it means for the way they interact with the game. This wasn't true for all our releases last year, and it's going to take changes across multiple releases to get us where we want to be. We can't break the design bones we want to right away, so instead let's unpack how we would take on this big challenge over the course of next year. He did say in one of the tweets that they're not going to be able to tackle anything until Season 21, right? So Season of Defiance here is going to be what drops with LIGHTFALL, which is Season 20, right? So I'm guessing Season 21 is probably where we're going to see more of what Joe's talking about. Okay, so Season of Defiance, LIGHTFALL will launch alongside Season of Defiance. And while most of this content was wrapped up before this new goal was put into place, we still have numerous seasonal quality life changes along with substantial iterations to our current model coming to shake things up, starting with reducing complexity with our progression system. This means fewer competing currencies to earn. They did talk about looking at what the light leveling system was going to be like, trying to make it better. And he did say once again that they're not going to touch it. Well, they're not able to touch it until Season 21. So maybe they'll talk about it here. This is a dope picture though, man. This already looks, that Warlock helmet looks crazy. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna know what the armor is gonna look like for the next event that's coming up. That's pretty neat. I'm guessing we're gonna see something about Marsov, and I see Cabal ships. I'm guessing the Cabal ships and the ship in the back are just tied to Callus. See her in the back almost makes me feel like we're about to get a fallen raid or something, or maybe we're about to like finish the story of Dream City, or maybe we'll go back into her realm. You know, be cool to learn more about her. We're doing away with Umbros and Umbral energy. Yeah, they said that. So after you unlock seasonal focusing, if you want to focus an engram into a particular season, weapon, or armor, all you need is Glimmer and seasonal engram. Additionally, seasonal engrams will be stored and tracked on seasonal vendors, so managing the engram bucket in your character's inventory will be much easier. That's pretty dope. So it doesn't take over the slots that we have now, like the 10 slots. So what about the unlock stuff that we have for the seasons? Is that going to change? Can we just unlock everything right away? I feel like that's still going to be tied to like a week thing. Like you have to do this week. Okay, we'll see you next week kind of thing. Hopefully not. You know, it'd be nice to just kind of like, if you want to sit there and go through all of it, you should be able to, you know, but okay. We also won't be asking you to hold large stacks of seasonal currency to unlock a chest at the end of every seasonal activity. Thank you. Instead, we'll be dropping singular keys throughout your playtime that allow you to extract better rewards from the chest at the end of the season. Oh, that's dope. That means that like I don't have to go out of my way, go play Crucible, go do Gambit, do some strikes, and then come back to the seasonal activity. If I just want to play the seasonal activity because it's a new thing, I could just do that. One thing in Destiny that I'm not a huge fan of is like we always have to go back and do all the old stuff that we have in order to enjoy the new stuff. I just want to enjoy the new stuff. I mean, but here's the thing. I'm probably going to get sick of the new stuff a lot quicker because I don't have to go back and do the old stuff. But that's a challenge that Bungie has to come up with. They have to find more new stuff for us to have to deal with the whole time. You know, it also represents a reposition of these chests as true bonuses, not requirements. Unlike today's seasonal currencies, keys won't drop every time you complete an activity. To compensate for this change, we made the base rewards for each seasonal activity completion better. So when you earn and spend a key, it's a meaningful bonus, not a requirement to engage in a seasonal playlist. Finally, by default, keys can drop from seasonal activities, which means you are no longer required to play content outside of the seasonal playlist. I just said that. That's kind of cool. It reminds me of in D1 getting those skeleton keys or whatever, right? You get the keys, and even if like I think you could do the Nightfall and get the key, and then you can use the key to open up the chest, so you don't have to go anywhere else. Warlock wasn't as bad. Yeah. Oh, dude, this armor looks nice, man. That Warlock helmet gives me some kind of like weird like buggy vibe. Yeah, I like it. I don't know. The Titan is always gonna look bulky. The class item looks weird. I don't know. The Hunter always looks the same. For me, he always looks the same. That fusion looks like it's tied at Marsov. And I don't remember the season. There was a Dreaming City season where we had like the gear that looked like it was from like the Marsov crew, right? That looks like a fusion to me. It might be AR. I might be going crazy. But the theme on it looks like we're probably gonna get more weapons from her stuff It might have been Season of the Lost. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing new season activity, we put something down on the ground. Oh my god. Yo, imagine, right? Instead of you like doing a thunder crash, you could jump in the air as a Titan. And I know the staff is the hunter thing, but you can grab the staff and like, you know, like just stab someone down. That'd be the new Roman Super. You just see a Titan just hopping from one side to another, but whatever. Okay. On top of these changes in Season of Defiance, players can expect fewer total vendor upgrades. Oh, okay. I just asked about the vendor thing. Which each individual upgrade being more potent in some upgrades, even offering a variance on the way you interact with the seasonal activity. In Season of Defiance, we also taken a big stab at the way we name our various progression systems and currencies. We want any player to read the name of something and me to understand what it does. In short, to spend more time playing and less time trying to understand what they're supposed to do. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, as a content creator, it's whatever to me. I can just make a did you know about it. But if this does it, cool, man. Makes the game more accessible. In seasons to come, after Season of Defiance, we'll be heading to... Oh, damn, bro. Bungie is dropping the names of the seasons. Normally, it's like, after Season of the Redacted, we were going to head into the Season of the Redacted. Damn. Holy Jesus. And I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing LIGHTFALL is coming with the Season of the D's. So like, we got Defiance. We got the Deep. What's the next one? These Nuts? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's the next season after that. Yo, know what I'm saying? I see the pattern. You can't get me like that, Bungie. You know what I'm saying? That's the pattern right there. You know what I'm saying? These Nuts. What if they really hit us with these nuts, though? You know, you never know. All right, so Season of the Deep. Deep in the... You know, I gotta stop being with some time under our belt to react to recent player feedback. Season of the Deep, man, it's hard not to make jokes about Season of the Deep. So, fine, will not feature a vendor upgrade paradigm. The same will be true for the following season. This doesn't mean players will never see a vendor upgrade system again, but instead means we want to create more varied experimental framework and slowly create a wide array of different systems for players to show their investments into seasonal content. Okay, so with the system upgrade going away, are they still going to tie like weekly like story thing, or can we just like knock out the story whenever, like whether you want to do it on the first day or later on? I kind of want to know more about this. Maybe they'll tell us. This variety will also extend into the types of content players experience in the moment-to-moment gameplay of our later seasons. In both Season of the Deep and Season 22. Okay. See? Yo, hello? Yo, bro, I know the name of Season 22 already. Yeah. It's Season of these. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me, bro. Fine. Yeah, you know, you gave us 2 already. I'll take it. The team is pushing the envelope to create more fresh activity experiences. Like when we first unveiled the Shadow Realm in Season of the Lost or debuted Battleground in Season of the Chosen. One thing we want to continue from last year is casting a wide net when it comes to the themes and fantasies our players can expect with each release. LIGHTFALL already has a very different tone as setting from the Witch Queen, and we want to continue this tonal variety in our seasonal content. From Reapers to Pirate Cowboys, last year's season proved that Destiny 2 can encompass experiences that contain wildly varied inspirations. And we are committed to the adventures in LIGHTFALL's collection of seasons feeling just as thematically fresh from one another as they did last year. These stories, progressions, and themes aren't the only way we think that we can stretch the player's imagination space. Some of this is going to come from putting new systems into Destiny 2 or revisiting systems that aren't quite hitting the mark. And LIGHTFALL will be adding Guardian ranks to the game alongside rethinking Destiny 2 build crafting with loadouts. While we aren't going to go deep into either of those systems here, they both represent new lenses that we want to continue to apply to Destiny 2. Okay. For example, Guardian ranks aim to be the effortless way Guardians share their place in their journeys with one another. No longer will the number next to your nameplate be a representation of how much you grind in season pass. Instead, is a representation of our experience as a Guardian and the challenges you face and overcome. Okay. So, wait. We're still going to have the season thing, right? Like from 1 to 100. But I'm guessing that's not going to show up on our thing anymore. I am tired of just looking at that because some people are like, oh my God, you're rank 400? Bro, go outside. Go touch grass, bro. Go outside. Like, bro, I play this game every day, all day. What you mean go outside? I'm going outside right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax. Weapon crafting. You're going to want to kill a set of weapons for those challenges. And this year, we're going to change how you think about obtaining those weapons with some major updates to weapon crafting. While we love having some source of deterministic perks, we found that the route to getting the weapons you want to craft can be too random. At the same time, we also believe that the weapon crafting being a part of so many of our weapon chases has diminished the joy of simply getting a great perk roll as a drop. Yeah, I've been talking about that. Like, if I can craft something, there's no point in me like going and farming for something. You know, the only weapons that I would go and farm for is if it's not craftable and there's no other weapon of that archetype that can be crafted, then sure, I'll go chase it. But if it's craftable, I'm not chasing anything else. Here's what you can expect to change with weapons crafted in the year of Lightfall. To create independent chases for both crafted and non-crafted weapons starting in Lightfall, few of our total weapons will be craftable. More of our weapons with long-term source will get value from random perk rolls. To allow these non-crafted weapons to stand toe-to-toe with crafted weapons in Lightfall, in the year of Lightfall, more and more of our non-crafted weapons starting with new raid adepts. There you go. Make the master raids matter. Hell yeah. Some with new raid adept this year will have the ability to be enhanced. Oh, okay. I want to read more. Enhancing allows you to drop weapons to start leveling up, use mementos, and gain access to both enhanced perks and enhanced intrinsic properties. But only the enhanced version of the perk and masterwork that are already on the version of the weapon you enhance. Oh, that's pretty dope. That already makes adept weapons better because the base stats are already higher. I could put adept mods on, and if I can enhance my perks, it's almost like crafting an adept weapon. Oh my god, except I don't craft it. I still have to like RNG still has to be on my side. That's not bad. Whoever came up with that, bravo. Simply said, with some time and resources, enhancing allows you to take the random roll weapon you obtain and enhance its existing roll to match the full power crafted weapon. Another thing too, Bungie, it'd be nice if a weapon can be crafted, you should have certain rolls just tied to that weapon, but then it needs a competing weapon with the same archetype that can't be crafted, right? But that can have rolls that can compete. Maybe like the one that you can't craft will have like Fire Line, and you're like, shit, I can craft this, but I can't get Fire Line. I can only get Frenzy and Whirlpool. Don't put Fire Line on the one that you can craft, because then what's the point of me going after the one that can drop when I can get the one that I can craft? But what do I know? We're targeting to roll initially with Lightfall raid adepts at the launch of Season of the Deep. Long-term, we want to expand this functionality to most of our new non-crafted weapon drops, but there's some technical hurdles we need to solve first. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, like, if that's the case, I might start doing like my master vow, my master like King's Fall again, like some. Actually, wait a minute. I have spoils. I could just buy them. Oh wait. All right. Well, I'll wait until they like figure that out. So maybe I'll start saving spoils so then I can get like what I want. For crafted weapons, we have some additional changes planned. You'll never see deep sight on a weapon unless it is something you need to make pattern progress on. When you see a red border in a game, you know it's valuable. Now, I read this in two different ways, and I might be just stupid. Does that mean that if I have like, let's say, for example, next season, right, VOG weapons are craftable, and I got my 5 red bordered Fabringers already. Does that mean that Fabringer, when I get it, will never drop red border again? That makes more sense to me, right? Like, if I craft a weapon already, that means that I will never see it as a red border again. Like, if I crafted a Trusty already, a Trusty will never drop again as a red border. I might be going crazy, but I think that's what it means. Yeah, like, you'll never see a deep sight on a weapon unless it is something you need to make pattern progress on. But then, what's to keep me from getting 4 weapons done and then getting a bunch of red borders, completing them, but not turning them in? If I see a red border and that means that I can craft it or it can go towards my crafting, that's actually pretty awesome. Damn, that's next level right there. That's dope. I hope. Okay, hear me out. I hope that's what they mean. Okay. All right. Don't kill me if it's like, oh, I already crafted this gun, EK, and I still get red borders for it. Look, man, I just read what they said. All right. That's all I'm saying. Targeting Season of the Deep, we'll be adding a mechanism to activate deep sight on any craftable weapon they do not have the pattern for. So targeting Season of the Deep, we'll be adding a mechanism to activate deep sight on any craftable weapon you don't have a pattern for. You can activate deep sight? Okay, so that means I get the weapon to drop, and then Bungie's gonna find a way for me to get stuff, or like I need to buy currency or something, and then I could be like, yo, I'm tired of farming for this joint, but I have all this stuff here. I can now guarantee that I can put deep sight on this weapon so I can make it. That sounds really fucking dope. Finally, we want to tackle one more thing out of the game to help with our goal of expanding the player imagination, and that's giving our players a little more of a sneak peek into releases before they hit the servers. So while some of our releases this year will be kept secret until they hit players' machine, others like Season of the Deep will preview and share keys details of. That's pretty sick. Bring back Challenge to Destiny. How come this is so short, man? How we not... Bring it back challenge. We got all these, you got all these like long ass lines, and bring back challenges like, it's like 6 sentences, bro. We could all have variety in the world, and that wouldn't matter much if we weren't also making sure that the content of our players spend the most time with is engaging and interesting. There's a lot that goes into making a piece of Destiny content engaging, but at the chewy center is challenging. What is this, a Snickers? It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of whatever the hell, right? While you're on YouTube, you should just type in stats, and there's a video that breaks down how stats is distributed in Destiny 2. Maybe you're trying to get your better stats because starting LIGHTFALL, don't forget, if something's at tier 10, it's really going to be at tier 8 now. Last year, we spent a lot of time bringing up all our subclasses to the Stasis 3.0 standard. During that time, not only did our abilities become more powerful, but the synergy with weapons and gear raised the total product size for all boats. Look, I love the 3.0 stuff, but where's Bottom Tree Dawnblade, bro? I lost that. Also, we'll actually get the ability to turn any grenades back into a healing one. That'd be pretty sick. I don't know. I don't play this game like that, so I don't know. The result of these changes is a game with a more compelling RPG, but at times lower levels of challenges in our core content. With a player base as large as Destiny's, the right level of difficulty is going to be different for everyone. Yes, which is why earlier when I read this, I said, how are you going to make the game challenging? Because the game is already challenging to a lot of people. It may not be challenging to veterans, people that play the game a lot. A lot of people don't believe power creep is also just knowing what to do, but power creep is like, think about it like this. Raids, right? Day one, you kind of have to learn everything. There's a challenge to it. But once you know how to do everything, you go back in, there's a lot easier, right? And that's with GMs, that's with secret missions, that's with anything. Power creep is also knowledge. So how are you going to make something really difficult? It doesn't matter if like a weapon is meta for a boss, right? Like in Destiny 1, I don't know if you play Destiny 1, you're probably like, oh man, he sounds like one of those Destiny 1 guys, like back in my day. Well, in Destiny 1, there was this guy named Skolas in Prison of the Elders, and on Solar, usually people use Gallahorn. But then when it went to Arc, right, you figure it out. When it went to Void, you figure it out, right? I had Ephrata's Spear with like different burns ready for that. So here, I don't know how they can kind of change that, because no matter what happens, there's always going to be something that's going to be strong, or there's going to be something that people are going to call busted, which is fine. It says, while we're still committed to offering multiple difficulty levels and content such as campaign, nightfalls, secret mission, dungeons, and raids, we feel like the baseline challenge of most of our content is just too low. How do you know what's too low? Sure, you can watch streamers and content creators and people that play your game a lot, that have a lot of hours, that have knowledge of what to do and positioning, right? You can see them crush your game. But do you see everybody crush the game? Like, that's the thing. On Bungie's side, they see the numbers. So how do they know what to do? I just don't want to go back to, I know there's a lot of new players that are in the game too, and you're probably watching this as well. I don't want to go back to how Forges were. The first day Forges came out, okay, some of us beat it, right? And some of us complained, and Bungie brought the light level down right away. Is Bungie going to cave in to this? Because they said they feel like the baseline of the most of the content is too low. Is Bungie gonna make this hard and then like cave in and make it easier? That's scary. I don't want to be in Bungie's shoes for this part. Hell no. You know, because you have so many people you have to like kind of cater to. How do you find the middle, right? Just seems impossible to me. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Tuning abilities. Bringing challenges back to Destiny requires a two-pronged approach. If we just tune up our enemies across the game, we will start to encounter issues with command frequently one-shot players and will feel super spongy. That happened. When GMs first came out, that happened. We got used to it. We learned positioning. We learned what weapons we could take in. We learned that ammo is very efficient if you run Aeons and stuff like that. As a result, even more relaxing content will require players to conform to the most meta Guardian loadouts. On the other hand, if we were only to tune the player's efficiency, the RPG elements will start to feel like they matter less, and Destiny might start to lose its essential fantasy of it being this powerful battle wizard in space. You could probably disagree with this, but I have this thing where, like, with experience, right, you should be stronger. So when people always talk about, man, we're strong. We're stronger than what we were when the game came out. Yeah, we're supposed to get stronger. We're supposed to like evolve, right? But then the one thing that happens when we evolve is the game is not keeping up with us. I would rather enemies and stuff like that get stronger and have the game scale. So that means if I go to EDZ, I see a dreg, I blink at him, he's dead, you know? Like, I shoot him once, he's dead, right? But then I go into a new place, like, let's say, like, the Throne World, right? And that came out at a certain level. It should take me 3 shots to kill that dreg because, you know, that dreg is more potent. He's at a higher level. But yeah, we have to kind of feel like that too. Like, you want to feel strong. I thought this game was trying to be like an MMO thing, but that's the way I see it. Just, you know, right now it seems like we're going back and forth, right? Like, what's that thing that they chop wood with? You know how like you have one person on one side and the other dude, right? It feels like Bungie's like just we in the middle and they just like stringing us side to side. In the PvE world, if you've done so much and you put in so much, you shouldn't feel weak, right? If you go in and you make a build, that build should work for something, right? It should be situational. Doesn't matter if it's situational, but it should be good for some. So instead of focusing on just one vector, we're going to take measured approaches in both the player's toolkit and the strength of our monsters. Let's start with the player's toolkit. Across PvE and PvP, we believe that abilities dominate too many engagements due to potency, which we don't want to nerf, and uptime, which we don't want to tackle. Yeah, but Bungie, you've shown that you can like... Bungie has shown that they can like separate PvE and PvP, right? Hand cannons, they do a lot of damage in PvE, but they don't do the same thing in PvP, right? Certain supers do something in PvE, but they don't do it in PvP. They've shown that they can separate it, but sometimes they don't separate. Perfect example, Geomags. And some of you are going to be like, well, EK, for Geomags, you can just do a finisher for special ammo and then run back and get your super back again. Yeah. Or you can run special finisher, or someone could just run Aeons and do a finisher on an orange bar. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But in Crucible, sure, someone's running for their super the whole time to use it and maybe cut it off and be at half again and then get a few kills and run again to get it might be annoying. But, you know, stuff like that, I feel like they could have done. But to each their own. Destiny's a game about guns and power. We want both to shine. Yes, gunplay feels good. Abilities feel good. What sucks is when it gets like nerfed out of nowhere. So starting with LIGHTFALL, we're moderately increasing ability recharge time across a wide selection of our abilities as mentioned in the ability tuning preview last week. We also noticed that enemy combatants just aren't hitting as hard as we want them to, especially against max resilience guardians, so we're adjusting the amount of damage resistance granted by resilience and increase the energy cost of resilience mods from, so instead of it being like 1 at minor and 3 at major, it's going to be 2 at minor and 4 at major. But you know what's weird for me? They just said we're going to run into issue with combatants frequently one-shot players, but then now I'm reading, now they're saying the enemy combatants aren't hitting as hard as they want them to. This is almost like going against what they just said, right? Like, you just said you don't want them, you're going to run into issue where they one-shot players and they feel super spongy. But now you're also noticing that they're not hitting as hard as you want them to. Have you guys ever won against a fully auto knight or a fully auto minotaur? Bro, what you mean they're not hitting hard? I need to send these clips in. Yo, they cheating. Oh, man. When their guns go fully auto, dude, and you're on the level 25 level, you're going to die. Especially when the burn is like in their favor. But okay. I'm guessing they're not going to be spongy, but they're going to hit hard. I hope there's like an in-between. They can hit hard, fine. But just don't make him super spongy. Damn. Look at this dude. He's about to punch that guy. And that guy's probably going to punch him back. And this guy's going to spam him with all void the whole time. And he's going to die in the new system. With the build crafting updates in LIGHTFALL, we believe that great builds will be much more accessible to the community. And while we still want your gear and your mods to be critical, some of the buffs to Guardian damage and survivability were just a bit too strong in the old system. And so we've taken this opportunity for balancing paths to get to gear-driven buffs. Now I know those last paragraphs might have been scary to read, but we don't think these changes are going to be a big swing of the balance pendulum. More than anything, this is about reining in some unintentional power creep that we saw over the last year. We're committed, as always, to making your Guardian feel like the ultimate monster killing machine. And I'm confident that with Strand and our new build crafting updates and a suite of new weapons coming to LIGHTFALL, you will all be making Zavala very proud. We'll see how that goes. They didn't really say what they were going to do, but they said they want enemies to hit a bit harder. Enemy mine. But I promise a two-sided approach to the challenge. So let's talk about how things will be shaken up with enemy difficulty. Recently, we've been happy with the level challenge present in the base Battle Heist Battleground playlist. To achieve this, we use the difficulty knob that enforces just how over level we let players be compared to the enemy they're fighting. Will there ever be a Destiny where I'm at 1500, the enemy's at 1500, and that enemy's a challenge? You know? How come like as soon as we're at level with them, we're just beating them up? Yo, come over here, yo. Like how come as soon as we get to level, you ever seen an enemy that's red border? They wax you around, they backhand you, and then as soon as you get to level, you like, yo, come over here. Yo, let me talk to you. Yo, you remember last time I was here? Yeah, yo, let me talk to you, bro. Why do we always have to be under-leveled? This knob has always been present across our activities and is adjusted based on how evergreen we want the challenge to be in those missions. We were pretty aggressive with this adjustment in Season of the Seraph, and it produced great results. So the base Battleground playlist and Season of Defiance will use the same settings. Carrying this approach over, we are also going to be adjusting the same difficulty tweak on the Vanguard playlist ops. Oh, okay. We're going to set this playlist knob to a level quite as intense as the Battleground playlist, but we do want to use this setting to make Vanguard ops a lot more engaging to the average Guardian starting LIGHTFALL. This approach to power and difficulty is also going to be present when players are roaming around Neomuna. And while we don't want the entire game to feel like it's turned up to 11, we think these changes will help the enemy's forces patrolling Neomuna feel dangerous and worth your attention. Yeah, but okay, so this also goes against like my whole mindset of, oh, I went into this place. These enemies were really strong, right? And then all of a sudden, as I played the game, I made a build. I got stronger. And now they're not doing as much to me, like that Dragon EDZ. And then if I fight that same enemy, in a higher place, I kind of feel the difference. Here, that enemy is always going to be a pain in my butt. But why? Right? What's the reward of like leveling up? Right? What's the reward of engaging and getting all this? I don't know. Maybe it'll be fine. I have never slid under one of these big ass knights with my primary. Okay, maybe that's not the primary. Is that the linear? That better be the linear. But I still have never slid under this big dude with that linear because like I know I'm gonna die, bro. Like, what you doing, bro? Yo, who came up with this picture? He's finna die. He's finna jump in the air and hold his little his gun in, and then he's gonna wax him too. And then the Titan, he probably gonna run away until the time is up for these guys to come back to life. This picture is listen, Guardians out there, don't ever get in this situation right here. This is called a murder scene. Don't you ever do this. You know how bouncy this linear fusion is? You want me to slide in this man's DM? Oh nah, I'm good. That's crazy. You may have noticed that we've been experimenting a lot with power settings over the last few seasons, and we're planning on taking it on even more experience this year. We think that there are some major issues with power in Destiny 2 and how it prevents players from seeing some of our best content. Well, if he's sliding like that, he's not going to see some of the best content. He's going to die. But we'd like to make a big change to the system in the final shape. However, to understand more about how our changes could be improved, we want to keep tweaking our power settings over the year of LIGHTFALL. Some of these tweaks might be found on our back end with a little transparency to the average Guardians, while others will be front and center. For example, when LIGHTFALL launches, we'll have a power climb that is very similar to that in Witch Queen, but later in Season of the Deep, we don't plan to raise power or pinnacle cap at all. Okay. My only fear is this, right? Let's say they do this whole system where like the difficulty, right? Let's say Vanguard Ops, you go in there, you're 5 levels under, right? And everyone gets used to it, and people have become better players because they're like, okay, I know how to live in this, and it becomes easier for them because with experience, once again, knowledge is also power creep. What is Bungie gonna do then? Instead of it being 5, are they gonna push it to 10? When they see like those numbers going back to what they are right now, I don't know. We'll see. Enrich our content. With all these changes to power and pursuit, we also want to make sure there's plenty for players to sink their teeth into over the next year. For the last few years, we've been trying to attack this problem by trying to squeeze one more morsel of new content each release. No, you haven't, okay? As someone that does all the damn triumphs, you know what y'all be doing for us to sink our teeth into? Y'all give us some bullshit-ass triumph. And it's okay. I'll do them, all right? But some of these triumphs are a lot of bullshit, all right? So hopefully this changes how that goes. All right, but I think we get better results with a different strategy, making the existing depth of critical content Destiny 2 more valuable to new and returning Guardians. Hello? So you gonna make it more valuable for the people that are new or returning? What about me? I'm here the whole time, B. Okay, I'll take the nut kicks. All right. All right, chat. You know the new strat is, right? We're going to be returning players, all right? You know what I'm saying? We're going to jump in the game. We're going to leave a little bit. Because apparently, I don't matter no more. That's crazy. Let's start with one of our most evergreen ritual, the Crucible. Player versus player combat is here to stay in Destiny 2. As we think, it's one of the most inherently replayable parts of Destiny experience. It used to be. I did a lot of PvE in Destiny 1, but I had way more hours in PvP than I did in PvE. Like, way more hours. You know? Going for that AS Luna, trying to get a Matador, just doing quick play. Even, like, the Iron Banners with the Suros regimes. Like, you know, people getting exotics that they could never imagine. Or, like, finally getting Gallahorn at the end of a Iron Banner match before, like, you know, Crota comes out. Like, all that stuff. It was awesome. And the sandbox wasn't that bad. But once again, that's just dreaming. That's not going to be back, I guess. We're excited for some of these game modes to get more face time in the core ritual playlist. Rift, Eruption, and Fortress. Okay. But we're not done adding variety to the ways you engage with PvP. In Season of Defiance, we're looking at getting Countdown back into the game along with a respawn variant of the game mode we call Countdown Rush, where players must detonate defuse both bombs on the map before the round ends. We also aim to run a series of Crucible labs, including a mode where the player's sandbox is dramatically changed. Then we have bomb stuff before. We had it for trials. Yeah, you would spawn in and you had to defuse the bomb from the opposing side. I'm guessing they're bringing that back and then adding like a different thing to it. That'd be pretty neat to see. We also aim to turn a series of Crucible labs, including a mode where the player's sandbox is dramatically changed. Weapon damage, ability uptime, and even ammo are all adjusted in a new mode, tentatively titled Checkmate Control. This mode will reward players who use their smarts and their skills. Yeah, but you gotta remember we have a sandbox with a lot of OP and broken things. Like, you know, I can just put up a wall and shoot through it and so on and so on. So if the only way the enemy has been able to shut you down in the past is a solo Brave Barrage, they might be in trouble. Nope, the enemy has been able to shut me down with a lot more broken things than that. This isn't all we have planned for modes, so keep your eyes on labs for more classic and all new modes later this year. Yeah, but modes aren't going to fix the sandbox. There's a lot of like abilities that are out of whack. There's a few weapons that are just... Okay, let me not... It's not that I don't care for Crucible. I just want Crucible to be better. Especially like that new comp that they brought up where like I worked my way to Platinum and I tell you, some of my teammates saying, "Oh, what the hell is happening?" You know? Especially for your rank up matches, you always get the worst teammates. Now we think that a steady stream of novel game modes, rating of player power is going to do a lot for the health of our PvP ecosystem. But we're still committed to keeping true to our Crucible map plans, which means the arrival of Meltdown in Season of the Deep, a brand new Vex Network map in Season 22, and a return of Citadel in our last season before Final Shape. But wait, we're not getting a map of Lightfall? I think we're getting a map of Lightfall, right? Maybe. We'll also be looking at our existing maps and doing a spawn returning pass on many of them this year to improve our various mode flow. In matchmaking, we still don't feel we have nailed the trade-off between fair matches and good connections. We still need to get features like dynamic skill ranges in game to allow players across all skills to get consistently high quality connection in their matches. Yes, please. Connections are very terrible. And like, it used to be only in Iron Banner connections were terrible, but I noticed connection was terrible like when playing Trials, playing Comp. There was always like just some bad connections. It was nobody's fault. It was the lobby balancing. You're trying to like balance people and you got someone on the other side of the world trying to play against another guy because they're the same skill level. As we continue to adjust algorithm and improve connection qualities, we'll also tune our eyes towards lobby balancing, where we aim to construct matches with a more consistent skill spread among players on both teams. Lobby balancing is not really true because there's times where like some people do much better because they're running a group, and then when that person decides to play alone, they just have a crappier time because the game is like, this person is this good, but that person is not really that good. They're that good in a team, but then alone they're like, oh, I don't like this. This is not enjoyable. Why can't we just have like regular quick play where like anybody can just get in? But then when it gets to competitive, that's when you start doing all this like skill stuff. Like, why do we care so much about just the base, just quick play? It's supposed to be quick play. People could just go in there, have fun, put on whatever, you know? Not the whole PvP needs to be sweaty. We also want to continue to zoom out and make sure that we're upgrading the meta system that encourages folks to play PvP. Yeah, about the meta system that encourages people to play PvP. Oof. Think of this like the Iron Banner revamp. Our recent increased Iron Banner reputations and our commitment to having 3 Iron Banners per season this year. While we haven't settled on all the final details, we are currently looking at the rewards and matchmaking structure of Trials of Osiris, and would like to push more updates to that mode this year in order to more consistently keep the population at healthy levels. I will say this, when they did the Trials revamp that first week, that was the best it could ever be. Everyone played. And all of a sudden, they were like, no. People are getting loot. Too many people are getting loot. We have to shut it down. And it's like, what's the point? You know, it's a video game. Let us get loot. Let people play. It is what it is. As long as people will get to enjoy it. I seen people doing Sherbers. Everybody was smiling. I watched the directory. Everyone was doing trials. Everyone was just chilling, man. Nobody was stressing or waiting. Rounds weren't that slow. Finally, in competitive, we want to improve the speed at which players climb to the rank that most matches at Crucible skill and ensure it's clear why you won or lost a specific number of rank points shown after a match. Okay. All right. Once again, fingers crossed Crucible is good so I can enjoy it again, but to each their own, we'll see. Exotic Mission Rotator. Wait a minute. Maybe Outbreak and Whisper and stuff? Maybe. Trials won't be the only thing getting love as far as rituals go, so let's talk about the PvE side of the game. Over the years, we added a ton of great exotic missions. You did. They were great, like Whisper and the Outbreak mission. Wait, you forgot about the Whisper mission. What you mean? We added a ton of great exotic missions like Presage, Operations, Seraph Shield to Destiny 2. You forgot about 0 Hour, baby. They be like the Whisper mission. Bungie be like, who? This year, not only will we continue to create new exotic missions, but starting season 22, we'll be adding an exotic mission rotator. Like our legacy raid and dungeon rotators, the exotic mission rotator will feature exotic missions in the past that rotate on a weekly cadence and offer great rewards for players willing to dive into some of the classic content. Classic, yes, Whisper, baby. In season 22, this rotator will contain the exotic missions from exotic mission from season 13, 16, and 19. Presage, Vox, Obscure, and Operation Seraph Shield. With this framework implemented, we hope to use this rotator in the future to continue to bring some of Destiny's most classic missions back into the fold. I would love it if Whisper and Outbreak were taken out of the thing at the tower and they were put back into this rotator. Please. That'd be awesome. The Whisper mission was dope. Plus, like, for new players, they get to experience that, like, holy crap, this is dope. I never got to play this, but, like, my friend always talks about this mission. Like, he loved it. And then, boom, it's like magic, right? Another area of PvE we think we can make a big effect on is the Vanguard rituals. We have already talked about how we are going to be making the Vanguard Ops playlist more engaging by raising the challenge level. But with LIGHTFALL, we're also shaking up some of the activities inside the playlist. This effort will begin with refreshing the Lake of Shadows and Arms Dealer Strike. Both activities have had their objectives and encounters reimagined and upgraded to match the combat engagement levels of some of our most recent strike entries. Okay. Such as Lightblade and Proving Grounds. In addition, we're also taking strikes that have not been updated recently, such as Ezra's Crash and the Vertispire, and dramatically reducing their presence in the Vanguard Ops playlist while eliminating them from Nightfall rotations. These strikes will still be available for direct launch, but until they get brought up to the engagement parity with some of our most recent Vanguard content, they will not show up as frequently as part of ritual gameplay. I have never seen that number 3 there before. Aside from strikes, we're also going to be upgrading how Battlegrounds integrate with Vanguard Ops. Alongside Lightfall, the Season 16 and Season 19 Battlegrounds will be added to the Vanguard Ops playlist. We really like the fast, enemy-filled chaos of Battlegrounds, so this year we'll be also adding a selection of Battlegrounds as Nightfalls. So you could just bring back some strikes from Destiny 1? I would rather have that, man. This process will begin with the Mars Heist Battleground. I'm not gonna lie, this whole thing was really nice, bro. You know what I'm saying? And to this part. This process will begin with the Mars Heist Battleground being part of the Nightfall rotation and season of Defiance. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be defined during that season, goddammit. And we expect more Battlegrounds to be following suit each season. We're also excited to see how players tackle Season of Defiance first Nightfall rotation, where 4 out of the 6 Nightfalls will be new. New? You know what? I'll take that trade. 4? 1, 2, 3, 4? You know what? Yo, Bungie, I'll give you a deal. Hold on. Yo, hello? Yo. If I don't give a damn if you give me 1 Battleground, right? And there's 4 new strikes every season, dog. We got a deal, all right? So then I'll think about it. Wait, I got too happy. 4 out of 6 Nightfalls will be new or refreshed content. Why is it refreshed, bro? I knew there was something up. Okay, whatever. 4 out of 6 will be Neo refreshed content coming to the Grandmaster rotation for the first time. We expect even the older Nightfalls to feel rekindled by new loadout options, since the match game modifier is also being retired from Nightfalls with the launch of Lightfall. As we get further away from Lightfall on our seasonal schedule, we are going to make some targeted changes to ritual content based on what we observe about why players engage in this content. While we don't expect these changes to make it in for Season of Defiance, over time we want to start pushing both more rewards to the ritual content, more options to engage with our ritual content. Pushing both more rewards. Okay, whoever wrote, Joe, how come you just didn't put more rewards and more options to engage with? Okay, more rewards to ritual content, more options to engage with. This will include changes such as moving the initial source of obtaining exotic armor away from lost sectors and back into core rituals. No longer asking players to earn all of 3 of the ritual personal ornaments in seasonal challenges, and allow players to earn more rewards and complete more of their weekly challenges by playing content of their choice, not just in the new seasonal activity playlist. But why are you taking away the exotic armor thing? Because if you think about it, that was actually content, right? Most people will get a lot of their stuff done, but then if they want to make builds and they're still missing an exotic, they will go in a lost sector and try to farm for it. So I feel like that's a loss right there. You know, and usually if there's a new exotic, like if let's say there's a new exotic helmet, I go in that lost sector with one of his helmet day and hope to get that first. But then I guess if you're getting exotic in game, it's going to give you what you're missing before giving you stuff that you already have. But still, like, lost sectors was something that people did. You know, even if people complain about the buff rate or whatever, like buffing the rates, people still did it. Rebalancing objectives and rewards is going to be a slow burn over the year Lightfall, and then we are going to continue to take more direct approach in our season of the year. Dedicating a significant amount of development time towards a more core ritual-focused season. While this season will have plenty of new activities and story content, we want to take this time right before the final shape to crisp up our core rituals and pursue as we head into our final expansion of the Light and Darkness saga. This last seasonal effort is just now getting underway, so expect more details as we get further into the year. Well, once again, they make the game. I'm sure there's something that they're going to figure out. We'll see. Connect our Guardians. A lot of what we have planned this year is right around the corner, including big features like Commendations and Guardian ranks with the launch of LIGHTFALL. The Commendation system is the first step in creating strong connections between Guardians this year. It can be hard to reach out to someone you don't know. Commendations are icebreaker. A simple way of saying thanks to players that you appreciate playing with. Over time, players will accumulate a ton of different commendations that help build a story for how others in Destiny 2 perceive you. Certain commendations like Pacesetter and Saint's Favorite are only available to be given in Trials of Osiris, while others like Perspective and Knowledgeable are given out in raid and dungeon content. Eventually, the commendations you earn will become a history for where you've been and what you've done. Okay, I guess we're doing Trials help again. You know what I'm saying? I like that Pacesetter one. It's nice. With the commendation systems, those at the highest level of Guardian ranks will have proven to be folks that are consistently appreciated by others in the community. Sometimes it will be because they're the kind of people willing to do the heavy lifting or organized in a large group of players. Sometimes it will be because even if they aren't the kinds of people comfortable speaking up, they're always doing what needs to be done to help the group overcome the obstacle in front of them. Over the last few weeks, I've been playing a bunch of heist battlegrounds. And every so often I get matched with a pair of folks that I have a lot of synergy with. It will end up absolutely crushing the hive infestation. This joy has come with this tiny sense of regret that I'm not living just a few weeks in the future and able to pass along a couple of commendations to show my thanks. I can't wait for LIGHTFALL to be in everyone's hands so we can have an opportunity to show gratitude to our fellow Guardians. That's pretty neat. But what's to stop people from getting people to just give them commendations like, hey man, we're gonna do the activity, you give me this commendation, I'll give you this commendation. Like, I feel like people are going to rig that system, but to each their own. It's whatever. Commendations represent just the first step of reaching to one another. If players want to generate a deeper relationship, they need an opportunity to communicate. Over the last few years, Destiny 2 has often felt too lonely for those who aren't playing with folks they know. In order to improve this, we like to invest in the overall chattiness of Destiny 2. This is not something that's going to happen right away with LIGHTFALL, but we want to start opening up more lines of communication between our players this year. To start, we want to change our game-wide text channel from opt-in to opt-out. What this means is that more players will naturally be put into our text channels, so you have more frequent opportunities to reach out to a fellow Guardian. I don't like that, though, because, there's a lot of nice people out there, but there's some shitty people, too. I just be playing a game and I get random invites by a racist prick or something. Don't force this, please. Sometimes not being in these text channels is a good thing. Over time, we like to continue to invest in deeper chat moderation, better filtering, bigger features like speech to text. Well, your security better be on point because people use different keyboards and stuff to find ways to be very toxic. Now, the thing about commendations too is I feel like people are going to get an LFG and they're going to be very toxic. Must have this commendation to play with us. Bro, you don't have this commendation, so you can't tell me what to do, But we'll see. And a lot of this just seems forced. We think that text chat is a great way for players to communicate with one another at their own pace while still retaining some anonymity. This does not mean that text chat is going to become required for Destiny 2. We still plan on allowing anyone inside Destiny 2 the ability to opt out of the text chat entirely, meaning they will never automatically be added to social text chat. Thank you. We also plan to allow anyone the option to quickly leave channels on a case-by-case basis if the chat is trending in a way that makes their game experience worse. This is all going to be very new for Destiny, so I expect that we will be learning a lot from these first few steps and tweaking our plans with chat and how open various channels are as we go forward and get feedback from all of you. Fireteam Finder. The last piece of our social puzzle for the year is our biggest Fireteam Finder. Initially, we hoped to get our take on a first-class in-game look LFG tool in players' hands this summer with Season 22, alongside our next reprise raid, making a perfect pairing for new raiders. But as our plans become more solidified, we realize that the features needed to create a truly top-notch LFG experience were going to require a bit more time. So while that reprise raid is still coming out this summer, we're pushing Fireteam Finder to our final season of the year alongside a brand new dungeon. You guys should see what Lost Ark does. It's pretty nice. It's pretty chill. It's in-game. You put what you want to do, and someone can click on it. And if they want to join, you can either make it to where you have to accept them, or they could just join, which is really nice. We think that a truly first-class LG system will be perfect until we can see how our players use it. But we want to make sure that the initial launch still has a ton of features that will allow players to find a fire team inside of Destiny. This means the fire team finder that you can queue up from anywhere in the game, the ability to tag your posts with keywords and describe the kind of group you're running and the kind of people you're looking to recruit. The option to create groups where folks can join automatically, allowing you to get right into action, and the power to create groups where you as the leader can improve or deny. Yeah, exactly. Giving you tight control over the kind of groups you're putting together. Must have commendations to join my group, goddammit. Know what I'm saying? I can't wait for Fire Team Finder to make its way into players' hands later in LIGHTFALL's year and to see how many more of our Guardians will be able to enjoy some of the best content in gaming alongside all of you. So, those are the big four of the year: expand players' imaginations, bring challenge back to Destiny, enrich our content, and connect our Guardians. What about servers, baby? Maybe one day? No? Okay, fine. It's not going to happen all at once, and we most certainly will try some things that are going to land right on the first attempt, but we're going to continue to take risks with Destiny 2 because we think taking risks is essential to surprising and delighting our players. It's possible that we get into this year and discover a new set of opportunities and challenges for us to pursue. If that happens and our roadmap for the year changes, you'll hear from us. We'll keep you posted on our website and our socials. As we talked about at the start, Destiny 2 is a big living, breathing organism, and what it needs to thrive is always changing. But one thing you can count on is that just as so many of you are choosing to spend your precious time in this game world, we're proud and grateful to be there dreaming about creating and experiencing this game we all love. Thanks for reading, and see you on Neomuna. Joe Blackburn, Game Director, Destiny 2. Well, that's all you have for us. That was a lot. That wasn't too shabby. I don't know. It seems like Bungie's building up on LIGHTFALL and Season 21 like being the big change. If you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. If you think I'm negative, make sure you put in comments, EK, you're negative, because that is also going to get me an algorithm. I appreciate you being here. I see you on the next one. Deuces.